our, our past president. Marty, take it away and let's have fun and let's learn.
Thank you so much, Carol, and Happy New Year to everyone. Some of you are looking at me kind of strange. Happy New Year? Well, yeah, if you own a business, if you work for a company and you're looking for a promotion, you are experiencing Happy New Year in just a week. And right after Labor Day, even more so. Why is that? Because families are back from vacation and it's time to go to work. And what happens every New Year's? What do? We make resolutions. Well, tonight you get the amazing opportunity to make a resolution that is going to stick. And that resolution is that you are going to be introduced to something you might have been already using for quite a while, but it is the very best lead generator system on the internet today. And you're going to learn how to master it. And not only master it, but apply it to your daily work life and business life. All we need now is for a true pro to guide us in that process. And you're going to be walking out of here saying, woohoo, Happy New Year it is. That's what we want. We want a transformation to occur in you. So online, in the room, will you please say Happy New Year with me? And let's get this started.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
All
Year.
right. Let me introduce our guest speaker for you. Joyce Feustel is a LinkedIn trainer, presenter, published author, and knows how to make LinkedIn simple, easy, fun, and produce results. She went full-time with her Boomers social media tutor business in March 2013 after retiring from a 17-year career in sales. Originally from Wisconsin, Joyce has degrees in education and business from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, which means she was born and raised to do this stuff, folks. She and her family moved to the Denver area in 1995. Joyce is a leader in several business networking organizations. In addition, she is a leader in her 3 Toastmasters clubs. A Toastmaster since 1997, she has earned 5 distinguished Toastmasters awards. So if any of you have been wondering what DTM is behind the name of so many members of Toastmasters, that's what it stands for, is Distinguished Toastmaster. She competed in the District 26 Humorous Speech Contest in 1999 and in the District 26 International Speech Contest in 2021. Here to help you unlock the power of LinkedIn, please help me welcome Joyce Feustel. Oh, I gotta get a hug. You're alive.
Did anyone else besides me see that awesome Facebook post that Marty did suggesting you have a nap before you come tonight? I'm out walking my dogs. It's 4 o'clock. I'm feeling a little low energy. I think, oh, I could have a quick nap before we have dinner and I get to have this event. Then I thought, wait a minute. Marty sent me those 5 people from his clubs. I've got to go home and critique their profiles. One of them is off the hook because she and I had our private conversation. But there's 4 other people that if you're okay with it, and I think we'll have time, I have notes. I have Toastmasterly advice, what's going well and where you could improve. But here's the heart of the program. Why should all of us as professional speakers use LinkedIn? First and most important, I think it showcases our brand. We all have a voice as a teacher. David Odie's the kind of guy that can get engineers to pay attention to him. They get him. He has a style. Rich Hopkins has that that keynote style. Marty has, I think, a motivational kind of style. He knows salespeople like nobody else. My style is that of the friendly teacher voice. You know, the teachers you actually liked and remember even all these decades later. That's my voice. You share your expertise. You share your expertise both on your profile and in the posts you create, in the comments you make. Everything you do on LinkedIn is publicly available. So be careful, be sensitive, be aware that what you're saying there is always going to be you. So just word to the wise there. And as Marty and I have discussed, through LinkedIn, you can enhance your relationships with other people. And just like it's other people that will help us land our next job, if we're still looking for jobs and not retired, so it's the other people that can help us get our next speaking gig. It makes sense, right? It's that power of weak ties sometimes, WEAK. So today we're going to go over the profile, strategically connect with others, talk about how to share, post, and engage. And then Marty really encouraged me to do this, to do some searching. Now who's the timer here for this evening? So yeah, that's also right. But I have, and Marty, you said it's roughly an hour and a half to hour, 45 minutes, something like that? 8:50. This is really cool. I don't usually get this much time. But I'll, if I'm running too late, people can give me, maybe at like 8:35, someone might wave at me. All right, so now what we're going to do is jump right in to LinkedIn itself. And David Odie, my new best friend here, we're doing a tag team show. The way I do my training, and there is a handout, make sure everybody has this, is live demo. So those of you on Zoom, was the PDF sent out to them? Okay, so you can,
yes,
thank you. Perfect. So we're going to start then as we get on with the profile. And just as a quick overview, as we get it booted up, it's the profile photo, the background photo, your name, your headline, contact information, the about and featured sections, experience. Also, the providing services is not a bullet. I forgot that. Yes. Yes, please go to LinkedIn. All right. Can you move over to me for this, I think, to start with? Just go over to my tab. We're going to have to go over to David sometimes, too, for certain things. So I think, can everybody see if I'm standing here? Can you all see?
No, they're still singing. Sorry.
Sure. We'll just wait for that. So we're making this as big as we can in terms of print. So just do your best. You can move your chair up to the front, those of you in person, if you can't see as well as you'd like. Let's start with that background image. I think that is the best place to really speak your brand. We can look at Marty at some point. He's not one of my 4 critiques, but if you look him up on your computer, on your phone, you'll see he does a good job of that. So there's my relatively new logo. There I am standing up in one of my relatively recently taken pictures. There is my ebook that I write. All this gives credibility to me. And the classroom behind me can show I do work with groups of people in teaching. Now, this profile shot of me is actually me holding the mug with my logo on it. So that's why I had this like 2-year-old just got my best birthday gift of all time look. But actually, other people have seen that just excited, childlike, Linda's shaking her head, look on me more than once. So that's, by the way, the video thing has gone away, just so you know. It wasn't a big hit with them. So the picture is so critical because when people see you and have that nanosecond to decide if they want to connect with you, they will see your picture, your name, and your headline. Very important. So then as we go down, we get to the headline. Now in the headline, you have 220 characters. So many of the people I was looking at will use or of a tagline or a short description. I think that can work. I use a mix. I have search terms such as, so I can see it from here a little easier, baby boomer specialists, business owners, job seekers. And I also have my tagline. Plus, my own LinkedIn tutor out of Milwaukee said, Joyce, you have so many LinkedIn recommendations, well over 300. And he said, you should publicize that. So I went looking and I saw the next closest person to me in the Denver metro area had maybe 127. So that's something, that's social proof, really, to have all these people writing these reviews about me on LinkedIn. So this is somewhat personal style. I'm not saying there's a right and wrong way to do it, but one thing I do recommend is that little vertical separator. The fancy name for that is called pipe, like P-I-P-E, pipe key, the pipe key. And how you find the pipe key is you hold down Shift and then the backward slash. Kind of do that for you that way. And whoever uses the backward slash, nobody. But if you match it with the Shift key, you get that very slick little separator. So if there's any one thing you learned tonight, thank you. That would be the pipe key. Anytime I move off, you help me there. So there is your headline. Now, can you click on contact info for me, please? It's right there. Yep. Here's another place that you can really shine. Let's start with a URL. Did you ever notice that your LinkedIn profile actually has at the very top of it its own URL? Well, if you haven't messed with it, if you haven't customized it, it'll have your first name, last name, and a bunch of random letters and numbers. Well, that doesn't look very professional. That doesn't look branded at all. So when you go into the pencil for this, which we have to go in, actually, we'll go over to yours, David, in just a minute so we can show them how to do that. But let's just look how I've used mine. You can have up to 3 websites. So that's great. You can have somebody who has this. They have their blog and then their website, something else. I have it in the critiques. And then also, of course, the email you use for your speaking business. And you don't have to have a place or anything. That phone number is a Google Voice number. But you get the general idea of what you can have there. So I think this is a good point to, actually, let's go out of here. And I want to do one more thing, 2 more things, and we'll go over to yours. So let's go down. Notice that there's these hashtags underneath my headline. Do you see them kind of gray, maybe a little bit hard to read? These are other terms you can use to complement your profile headline. Very granular kinds of terms that you can use, up to 5. Also, how do you get these? Because you enable creator mode, and that's what we'll have them show you on yours, David. And when you have creator mode enabled, you can also have a hyperlink to your website. And you can even customize the text for that if you have premium. I found that out today. So these are things you can do to further brand yourself. So actually, why don't we switch over to David so we can show how things look from like your end when you're looking at it. And I think can I move over here and still be in the screen? All right, so David, let's go first to your contact info next to Denver metro area there. If you can click on that. Oh, yes, you were the one I liked the best of the 4 people I looked at for contact info. So there's your website, there's your podcast, there's your online course. So all of these are great hyperlinks for people to find out more about David's offering. I don't think you need your P.O. box in golden, though maybe that's important to you for your audience to have it. I don't think there's any expectation that there be an address field completed. Now, if you had a brick and mortar company or something, obviously you would have that. Now, here is, David already has done this, but click on the pencil, please. I want to show you where you can customize that URL. So notice here now we're in the edit mode. And if we click on the URL, right there where it is, where it says LinkedIn, forward like there, right. And that takes us to the editing screen. And you might have to scooch that over a little bit, but where it says edit your URL, there's a little pencil, looks like a pencil stub. And that's where you go and you can customize your URL up to 100 characters. Back in the day, it was only 30. Marty, you might remember that. And others would have been on LinkedIn from year 1. So it's really nice to have so many characters. So David, you could have more than your name, although I think for you, probably your name is just right. I don't know if you want to go elaborating. I have Joyce Voicel, social media trainer is a way that I brand myself there. Now I want you to go down, if you would please for me, David, and go to, just scroll down within your profile.
Back to profile.
Yeah, stay in your profile and scroll down just a smidgen till we see resources. Okay, on. So click on creator mode there under resources. Right there. Yeah. Now, but what you haven't done, my friend, and maybe there's a reason, is added your 5 hashtag topics. Ooh, So be thinking what you could put in there. Also, this is a good time to talk briefly about these other features. When you have creator mode enabled, and this is for free, but don't worry about that, you can have collaborative articles. That's where you can write an article with other people. That's not something I've done a lot yet, but it's an option. But LinkedIn Live is kind of like Facebook Live, but you do have to use StreamYard or another streaming platform. It is a little more complex. LinkedIn has to approve you. It's great though. If you have the tools and you want to do it, you can do podcasts on there. I've been interviewed on LinkedIn Live. I think it's a very powerful tool. The audio event is rather like, say, Clubhouse, if you've tried that. So I think that's sort of pretty straightforward. But the one I really want to mention are newsletters. So you can have a branded newsletter that comes out weekly, monthly, whatever you can keep up. The newsletter has a name. It's the people on LinkedIn will push it at them unless they've turned off their settings. So if they subscribe to your newsletter, then they're pinged in notifications whenever an issue comes out. So and they'll feature it sometimes, which we'll get to here shortly. So let's keep our LinkedIn, our creator mode on. And then I think maybe arrow back, David. Yeah, just I'm going to stay within your profile and stay there. And then also, if we go back up a smidgen toward the very top of your picture is, then what you could do, because you really aren't taking advantage of creator mode. I feel sad. All right. So click on the pencil there by Speaking of Solutions, right there. And now scroll down to the very bottom. Okay, see where it says custom action? And you can click on link. Just try that for me. Just link. And then scroll down a little more. And then see how you can type in your URL. I mean, is it simple and you know it by heart, maybe? For your website, the website one, not the other two. Okay, now click on save. Do you have premium? Okay, oops, yeah, that'll happen. Okay, now try clicking on save. And this happens, I think, like magic. Okay, X out of there. And ta-da! See, there's a hyperlink to your website. Aren't you glad you came tonight? Just for this. So slick. You know what, folks? I was avoiding creator mode because one other thing you should know, when you have it enabled and someone finds you, it says follow, not connect. So they got to work with old people. I mean, 55 and up, whatever you want to call older people. And they're going to see follow. Oh my gosh, I wanted to connect with Joyce, but it says follow. What do I do? Well, you know what? There's a notification that tells you when people follow you. So if you want to connect with that person, you can follow, you can ask them to connect. So Joyce, stop worrying about it. So I'm not an early adopter, but I finally said, Joyce, there's too many good things about creator mode, even if you do the bare minimum, like the hyperlink and the topics. I think this could be a good point to see if there's any questions. Do we have any questions online or from the in-person peoples? Are you tracking this?
And I have the handheld mic as well. I will be a runner tonight.
Okay, he's gonna be the runner. And what did you say about the muting, dear?
If they'll unmute themselves, we can hear them.
Oh, right, there's that. Right.
I will hold the mic.
Joyce. You okay? Does any of the material you've shared so far become Google food? In other words, is the change in your URL and the link and the rest of it all assists your ranking in Google?
Yes. Yes. I don't know exactly the URL. I would think it should, because I'm putting social media trainer in there, and don't people search for that maybe? Right. And baby boomers, people search for that all the time. So those phrases you have in your profile headline and those hashtag terms, they're all very tied to Google, and LinkedIn and Google are very tight. They're very, very close. As opposed like Facebook and Google, they kind of fight.
Okay, we have a question online from C. Dunham.
Yes, good evening. When you talked about the videos, is there a particular set time where they will allow you to have a video?
Oh, a video. There's places to put videos. Was that your question?
Yeah, for videos.
Yeah, we're coming to that.
Okay.
Don't let me forget.
Okay.
Yeah, and one other question from this gentleman.
I will hold the mic.
Hi, there's a couple things here that I discovered that I don't know if people know. When you said you're shown as follow, right? And people like, I wanted to connect. They still can, but you have to go through a second step. If you explain that.
Thank you. Thanks.
Because I want to connect with these people, not just follow them. And I didn't know how to do it.
I'm so glad you asked, because that was my oversight. When you find this person and you don't want it to be they're the diva and you're the groupie, right? You want to have an equal relationship with them. You want to see their posts and they see your posts, so you can endorse and recommend and message. You click on the more button, M-O-R-E. And when you do that, you will see a drop-down option to connect. The word connect is there. It's always there. It also works when you have a third level person. So let's take just a minute, because I think it's relevant. What's the difference? First, second, third. Well, first, like I'm first level with David and Marty and many of the other people here in this room. I'm probably second level with you, because probably you're connected to one of these people. So that means there's a shared connection. But third means that person is a connection of the second level connection, if that makes sense. So you don't typically, sometimes you do, but often you don't, you see follow for them. Apply the same principle. You go to the more button and there it will be connect. Thank you. Thank you so much for helping me clarify that.
I have a question in chat from Tina Kaminsky. She says, do you need premium to do these things?
Absolutely not. You do not need premium to do any. The only thing I believe, I just learned this today, you may need premium to have a customized text on the place where your URL sits, that hyperlink that you created through creator mode. So if you wanted to put in some verbiage up to 30 characters, I do believe you need premium for that. But you can still have your just straight URL be there. Did you have a question, ma'am?
I'll just come up. So they can't see me.
Oh, well, that's okay. Just
All right. This is a very specific question. My daughter, who's 21, we'll call her Sophie because that's her name. She posted on LinkedIn something related to her internship. We had a family friend from London who was one of the first people to comment on it. We weren't quite happy with his comment. So we intended to delete it, my husband and I. So we reached out to our friends at work, asked them to read the article and comment, hoping to make the bursar from Oxford's comments kind of be diluted. But what happened was the two people that I asked at work, I don't know how this happened. So I posted Sophie's article and they read the article and they commented and it showed up on my account, but it didn't show up on her account. However, my husband's friends were able to post a response to her article and it showed up on her account. So my question is, I guess I should have told my friends at work to go to my daughter's account to make a comment versus just saying, comment on this.
Yeah.
But there's no way for me to move those comments over to her account.
I think that's right. You and I better have a private conversation.
Okay.
You have to see me after class. Right. No, please, if you don't have my card, please get it, or my info's on the handout and we'll do a little Zoom because that's kind of intriguing. I don't have a really good answer, but I think you're probably onto something. Okay, let's move over to providing services. I'm very grateful to Marty for suggesting we cover this since we have the time. So back to, let's see. David, why don't we go back into your view of it from you? Because I want your profile, please. Yes.
Still in edit.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, no, I see. Yeah, you want to get back into you, David. So you can close that tab out and go back to, back to yourself. Okay. Cool. So just click over in your name. So now I want you to click on open to. Open to, the blue button. Open to. Yeah, now scroll down just a smidgen and click on providing services. Look at all this free tutoring here again. All right, now let potential clients reach out to you for free. So just click on continue. This tells you all the reason to do it. So just click on continue. Yep. Now, do you see where it says add services? So look at that. You can go, you don't have to add all 10 right here now, but let's just throw in 3 or 4. I mean, you would have like professional, it's somewhat limiting. This part is much different than the skills section, but you do coaching and mentoring. Let's try that, and consulting. So let's see what it gives you. Okay, so what would you say you do here with these engineers? And what's the other group you work with? The other audience. Yep, you want public speaking. You want maybe executive coaching is it's a type of that. Maybe leadership development, sort of. Let's see, team building even. Certainly training, broadly speaking. Okay, let's look at consulting, see what else we can find. Because you do that. And this is I would do business consulting because it's a type of that, I think. And what else would you say? I think that's the main ones probably. Okay, so then we can scroll down maybe to the bottom where it says save. Done. Now, you wouldn't write this right here in front of all of us, but you have a 500 character sort of a snippet of what you would have on your website. So if you think about what you have on your homepage, you might have some sort of pithy sentences or two that you could put there. It doesn't have to be complete sentences, but something that goes back to the Google search, something with good SEO, search engine optimization terminology that would describe what you do. So keep going down. And then that's where you just say contact for pricing, because obviously we're all different. Now, here's an interesting decision. Are you okay with LinkedIn members who are not connected with you, who are not paid in a paid version of LinkedIn? Can they message you for free? That can open up kind of a Pandora's box. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe you're so niche, you're like, no, I don't need all these Tom, Dick, and Harrys and Susies and Sallys. Maybe not, or maybe you do, but that's your choice. If you don't want it, you uncheck. Yeah, exactly. So click on next. So now we have David Odie's services. And here they are. See this? So now you can publish it. See, easy peasy. I mean, so much on LinkedIn is just, you need to know it's there. It isn't so hard necessarily to do it. You just have to find it. So now when you go back into it, if you click on the shaded box, that's what you've just created with your services page. Now, if you scroll down a smidgen, if you have, keep going. I guess you don't have it right in here. See media, that's the other thing. Add media. If you click on that, you can have a photograph, you can have a video, you can have a link to a landing page. Now, will people see all these? Probably not a lot, but it could still be that kind of behind the scenes search engine optimization working for you, maybe. But I'm saying you could. Now, I don't get it. These are like almost like Google reviews. This section, I don't really pursue that, but you can ask LinkedIn clients of yours, clients of yours who are on LinkedIn with you to do a review. I think probably a Google review is a lot more relevant, personally. Okay, so we can just X out of here. I think maybe just arrow out so people can see. So any one of us could have providing services. We could, really. Okay, so next would be featured, going to the lady with the video question. Okay, so let's go down. I don't think, wait, you are featuring. I love your featured ones. Scroll down. Now, the first thing I like is how David has this montage of his quick reference, his quick guides. Now, I have at least one of those. They're great. So what he's done is featured them. So what he has, see, if you go to the plus, when you feature something, you click there, and then you see he's added that link probably from Amazon, is what it looks like. But you could also feature a post, a newsletter, that branded newsletter like I mentioned, or is it article, longer version of a post, or a PowerPoint, or a link to, somewhere on the internet. And the other thing I like is how David has his scheduling tool right there and make it easy peasy if someone wants to schedule a little discovery session with him. So you click on view, that'll take them right over where they can sign up on his scheduling tool. This is perfect, especially for that world you're in with the engineers and other sort of science type people. They're going to like this. So people might say, but I don't have featured enabled at all. Where do I start? Okay, no problem. We'll scroll up just a little bit until we see that open to again. Now stop there. Do you see add profile section? So add profile section, and then recommended is right there, and then add featured. So when you do that, now you're going to see your stuff. If you are brand new to doing featured, you'll see this little graphic of a woman or something, and then you'll see the plus sign and you can start featuring. So that's how you get into featured. And then you can also move around your featured items, and that can include a video. Say a YouTube video would be an example that you might have, or even I think Vimeo to different places. And also while we're in here, let's look at all the other things. Maybe you have a certification. I know, I think do you have one, I think, for some of the coaching work you do? So that would be relevant to include, and or any kind of license. Projects could be even just putting an event like this together. Marty, heck, I mean, it's kind of a stretch, but you and Rich could claim it as projects. And especially if you do something with somebody well-known, I mean, both of you guys are pretty well-known, it's a great way to associate yourself with people who are highly recognized in your field. Courses would be if you took a professional development, we're not talking college, we're talking professional development courses. And also this is one of the places where you can ask for a recommendation. Although I think probably more intuitive is just going to that person's profile and asking. But we can get to that a little bit. But now click on additional. And because you may wonder, well, how did they get that section on their profile? So here there's publications, like your books, of course, are an example of that. Marty, of course, is publications up to yin yang. You have patents if you have one. Honors and awards, the DTM certainly would go there, Toastmaster of the Year, or any other award you've gotten professionally. Languages you may speak, and then organizations. So for example, with Toastmasters, and you'll see this here in a little bit, I have them referenced in my experience section, I have them referenced in my volunteering section, and I reference them in organizations. Because people don't read these profiles word for word, they skim through it. So why not populate it wherever it's appropriate? Okay, so we can go out of that pop-up now. We're all done with it. So does that clear to folks about how featured works? So in any of these things, just reach out to me afterwards. I can help you. Okay, so where are we? Oh, here we go. Now the about section. Oh, this is so hard. Maybe I shouldn't say it can be challenging is a better phrase. So let's go down and look at mine just a little bit. Actually, let's go back to Joyce now from you. Although go and show them yours because yours is really good. I like yours. So yeah. So, but we can go back into it later if we have time. All right, so now go to my about. Let's see, there's my featured coming up. Click on see more. How I started is by asking questions. And that's what I was thinking, especially for you, Eliana. Have you ever had a traumatic experience? Have you ever had something so life-changing that, things were never the same? And there's PTSD and, just bring this up. And you see, when I was young, my parents died, my husband died. I mean, it's incredibly sad. So, and just talk about that very openly. So mine is speaking to a lot of people in this room, maybe every single person in this room, So you ask these questions. Were you born between, don't have to raise your hands, between 1946 and 1964? You're my people. You are me, because I am you. I'm born in 48. I'm like your big sister. I think I'm like a combination of your big sister and that annoying English teacher you thought you would never have to see again. But this time you're glad she showed up because she's actually kind of nice and helpful. So notice how my paragraphs are very short, to the point. Keep scrolling down. I'm going to show you something else that's important. I got this idea also from my own coach in Milwaukee. So when you go back down here a tiny bit more, you'll see testimonials. We all of us have love notes, don't we? Handwritten notes. Linda's probably got loads of them, in a dresser drawer somewhere, right? Or, emails online, people that tell you how much you changed their life, how much they appreciate you. So when they're appropriate and relevant to what you're doing with your professional speaking business, with their permission, you can add them. They may never connect with you on LinkedIn, but that's okay. They're people that are almost like a character reference, someone that really speaks from the heart about you. And then notice they have these 5 top skills. This is relatively recent. So anybody that's putting in specialties, or one of you, it might be you, David, somebody has things across the top of the about, well, you don't really need to, because they're, when you have it in with the 5 skills, it's still right there, right below about, if that's making sense. But when you think about, I really encourage everybody here to use the first person voice. You're telling a story. You're telling a story of you, where you are now, where you're going, but in the context of where you've been. So that where you've been part will vary considerably, because I talk a little bit about it. I have one paragraph, I think it is, where I talk about being in sales and how my manager was the one that saw social media tutor at me. So that's my kind of honoring of that time. I didn't spring into this kind of world out of nowhere, especially at this stage of my life. So that's you have 2,600 characters. But when you have people that aren't going to read that much, then it should be shorter. Or like David's done. In fact, David, can you go back to you? Is that easy enough to do, to flip back to your profile? And you're, because I really like this about section that he's got. So, but that's what I mean. I actually still also I know what I was going to say. I like that there. I do, because that's more of an overarching statement. You could potentially put that in your LinkedIn profile too. It's the thought, because you have enough space if you wanted to. But look what he does here. Isn't this cool with all these little diamonds? Now I'm going to go out English major on you though, David, because see, there you're doing precision, storytelling, accessibility, but those 3 in the middle. But the rest you don't lead with a noun somehow. So I'm just going to say, I'd like to see parallel construction. When have you heard that phrase? Like high school, right? I'd like to see it more kind of consistent in the way you set it up. Just a thought. Okay. And then see where you have all those. That's what I'm talking about. Those hashtag ones, just go into the edit for about, and it'll be right there. Put the 5, those in as skills. They could go at the top. I think I like them here, but not like that with the hashtags. I like them as LinkedIn skills, because it shows you're using that feature. Yes, I know. That's just my opinion. We'll see them again when we go back to me. So now experience. Okay, let's go back to me again. And then I think I'd like to come back to you for this too. And in experience, see, when you look at when you close this out, you'll see, I don't know if we can kind of collapse that about section. Maybe we can. See, because when you look at about from the outside, you're only going to see a couple lines, and then you'll see those skills, is my point. Yeah. Okay, that's all right. But you see these there. Now, I think you can do this without a company page, but I'm not 100% sure. But if you want a nifty logo in your experience section, and also at the top, you must have a LinkedIn page, or also called a company page. It's sort of like a business page on Facebook. And in that, you can drop in your company logo. It's like a miniature website, the company page. But you can't just drop it in. There's no functionality to put a logo in without it being attaching the position to the company page. But notice what I've done here is I've broken out my offerings. So the first offering is what I'm doing right now, LinkedIn training, LinkedIn consulting, LinkedIn webinars and workshops. So if you click on see more, this is a position description. So you can have 2,000 characters for each position description. Isn't that neat? You can have more testimonials. You can, and watch this. I'll have to go back to yours for that. But you can, if you scroll down, you'll see the front end of this. You can have media. So if you see mine, that's a link to a YouTube video. That's a link to a PowerPoint. So see how it's a tiny splash of color that helps to break up the ultimate boringness of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is so boring. That's why I want you to make it less boring. So next one talks about the one-to-one, like I've worked with Linda, for example, here, and Steve, of course. So that's my one-to-one tutoring. And see how you can, this is kind of new too. You can have skills associated with each position. They say 5, but I've seen people do lots more than that. I think 7, 8, 9, I don't know, somewhere in there. Now look at this third one. Social media professional speaker and presenting. Now, if you click on see more, you'll see the right there, right above skills. So it's right, we're kind of in, keep going up right there. Perfect. This first one that shows is how I'm here tonight. Thank you, Rich Hopkins, who like spends his life on Facebook, I think, maybe, I don't know, but he's on there a lot. And he happened to see that I was speaking the first Saturday in August at this virtual professional, what's that called again? Professional career speakers. So he shows up. I'm like, oh my God, my hometown guy, this is great. So the next thing I know, he says, you know, we kind of need a speaker for professional presenters. Are you available on the 29th? I'm like, yeah, sign me up. I'm going to write a whole blog post, folks, called Say Yes. And how did I get that speaking gig? It was Thursday. Chris Poole, some may know her from Wisconsin. I connected with her in 2009. She just came through being in the trio. Out of the blue, she sends me this LinkedIn message. So would you be available to present on Saturday, like Thursday, Saturday, 2 days, to a club with these professional speakers on LinkedIn? I'm like, sure, I got a template I can just dust off and sort of customize. I said, sure. So there I was. How about that? Made a lot of friends, people from other parts of the world. I mean, Germany and Canada, whatever. So see, this gives you a feel for the kinds of places where I speak. And these are almost all, I think probably all of these right here are free, complimentary. That's for a lot of us who are speakers, we do other speaking to help market our paid speaking. So I thought I'd just show that to you. So keep going down. Oh, who had me in my pocket? Who was that? Oh, that's Lee, maybe, who I adore. Okay, so keep going down. And then, 6 other experiences. Let's see what else I put under that. I also include, I think, being a podcast guest. That was perfectly timed. It's coming up next somewhere in here. Yep, right there. So then I talk about some of the podcasts I've been on. So again, pretty good recommending me. If somebody's going to engage my service and pay me to speak, I've already been on a number of podcasts. So if you go right above that, I think is where I have my meetup group. My meetup group, please come. It's the second Tuesday every month, 1:30 to 2:30 Mountain Time. It's free. And people can come and learn all different kinds of things about social media. Maybe you might be a good guest for my podcast. Not my meetup group. So it's kind of a feeder into my business, but mostly it's something I do for the community as a way to give back. And networking goes on there. I've done it for 6 years, almost 7, I think. It's the second Tuesday at 1:30 in the afternoon, second Tuesday, and it's on Zoom. So I have speakers from all over. I have a regular attendee from Toronto, people from Vancouver area, so from all over. It's called Simplify Your Social Media. Simplify Your Social Media. And I don't like to have a lot of other, like my direct competes come, because that's kind of weird. But once in a while, I'll invite them as a guest. You know, the really fancy schmancy, no more than me people that, you know, only if they're there as a guest speaker, as different. Okay, so let's scroll down. We're almost done with, are we on time? Ooh, good. Okay, so keep going down. I think we're still in experience. Oh yeah, I wrote a book. No, it was a chapter in a book. That was cool. So that's another one. So I figure I'll just tuck all these under boomers, like why not? And now this is where we get to leadership. Now, Marty and I had an interesting conversation about whether or not to list Toastmasters leadership. So you got to depend, because if you're big in the National Speakers Association, they're going to go, you just rookies and Toastmasters. And oh, gee, that's nice for you. But you aren't like real speakers like we are. I'm real exaggerating slightly. But so you got to pick and choose, right? So I like to promote my wonderful new Business Leads Group. She stands for Supporting Hearts and Enterprise, for women who own their own business or do business development for another business. So see, I talk about the group, I talk about what I do. And you know, when you put your volunteer roles into the experience section, people can recommend you for them. So maybe they never used you as a lawyer, Steve, but they did interact with you in some volunteer organization where the two of you serve together, right? So think about it. So keep going down. And then there's a few others here. We're almost done though. So we're done with here we go. Keep scrolling. I do that very briefly now, but I've done that for years. Teach at Colorado Free University. So keep going. There's a board I served on for 4 years. So it's a big commitment. I include them. And then I was in my leadership. I don't know how many of you have done a leadership program in your communities, but I thought it was a good place to put them. Now, here's the first reference to Toastmasters. So I was the social media chair. Linda, I think you were a member around that time, probably, right? I know Marty was for sure, because he and I go back to like 02 or something. Because I remember when I wanted to run for what was now the club growth director, and I thought Marty might run, and I thought Jim Fritz might run, and I'm going to go run these guys off. I'm going to say, I'm running, just so you know. Well, 2 other division directors also ran. At any rate, I won, so there. But but I'm still giving back to the district. So that's when I was social media chair. And that's a day job. Okay. That was the job I had at the time that I got the idea from my manager to do what I do today. So keep going down. And then I was a coaching chair. That'd be like club, what would it be called now, Ruth? Club retention chair. Isn't that what Dory's doing? Yeah, so that was pretty comparable. And there was another day job. How far back do you go? Oh, there's district governor, as it used to be called. It might be BB. I just go back to 2000. I think when you have your own business, you can go back. Yeah. I could talk about it more in there now that I look at that. I certainly could add a paragraph or two about what was involved with it. Yeah. No, leadership has always been more important to me than speaking and Toastmasters for the whole 26 years I've been a member. Yeah, right. Yeah. And there were 50, like, for example, I don't say there on my team, there were 50, there is 50 volunteer leaders. So yeah, I certainly could beef that up. Good suggestion, Linda. Really good. Yeah, we'll work on it. I'll look at yours and you look at mine. Okay, so now we can exit experience. Boy, we're probably tired, need a drink, right? Okay, so any questions about experience? Because there was a lot to look at there, right? Okay, no, actually, I want you to go over to yours, David, because I want to show folks how they can add those little thumbnail deals, right? So we go look at you, please.
Oh, sorry, Marion didn't hear the question that was asked a minute ago. Would you just recap a little bit of what you and Linda were just talking about?
Oh, yes, we were talking about being district governor back in 05, 06, and Linda, who's also has been, were you governor or you director, whatever, but you know, the person who runs up all the volunteers in the district. So she was saying that I could have beefed up that position a bit. As it is, it's like having another full-time job. Anybody here that's done that knows that's the case. So we're going back to David. Thank you for speaking up, the online person. So let's go to experience and click on the pencil. On the pencil, yes. So now then click on the pencil by your speaking of solutions. Click on that pencil. And then go down toward the bottom so everybody can see how to do this. First off, that's where you can add skills. as many skills as you want. They say 5, but scroll further down. We're at the bottom. I'm sorry, add media. Click on add media. I'm sorry. If that's when you see the add media, here you can add a link to somewhere on the internet. So if you just click on that little bubble, so people can see what they can add. So a link would be anywhere on the internet, and then the media would be a picture, that PowerPoint, yeah, things like that, right? So those are things you can do. Now, I have an idea for you, David, with this position. So we go back to the top, because you kind of have it two sort of related but separate. You're a keynote speaker, right? I would encourage you to have one position for keynote speaker and then a separate position for being a speaking coach, right? Because they're related, but they really are distinct roles. And they all are tucked under speaking of solutions. Remember how I did like all those under my, do you see? That's how you get that little gray line that you always see in people like advancing within corporate. It's really how you get that, just automatically shows up. You just have to have kind of the years match up or something, and we can play around with that. But that's what I think you might want to do. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So now we can go to volunteering, I think, unless there's questions on experience. So, okay. Who can see your messages?
No,
Or is
Marion
that part
said
of
so
Zoom?
true.
No. Okay. So any more questions? Okay. All right. So let's go to volunteering. Go back to mine for this, I think. Yeah, back to me. And then we'll see if I did anything different. I think, oh, I know what I was going to show you with volunteering. Okay, so scroll down. Oh, education, I think one other thing. If anyone here is age sensitive, maybe you are. Me, I'm older. I tell everybody my age. I don't care what Mary Kay says, what if a woman tells you your age, she'll tell you anything. Have you heard that one? Maybe you guys haven't, but with education, we'd have to go back and show us on Davis. You can actually remove the year from that. But anyway, obviously I like to go to college. All right, so go below that. And then see, this is the redundancy, right? So here's that same group. Oh, here's Women's Chamber. I added that in here. Another group I'm in, but go down to where it says all 7 volunteer. And what I do here, because I've done so much service from 01 till approximately 13, and Marty, you do a good job of that on yours. I call it leadership positions. And here it's really a composite. So I talk about what I'm doing now in my 3 clubs. And then I also talk about the roles I held in the district, starting from 01 all the way through 13. So anybody who's in Toastmasters knows, well, they can probably figure it out if they're newer to Toastmasters, what those terms mean. They just call them slightly different things now. So that's how I handle it. I remember I was working with Dirk Kittredge, some of you may know him, and he had all these positions in Toastmasters. I said, geez, Dirk, you're looking for a job. I think your Toastmasters is overwhelming your profile. So really be wary about how much you're putting for Toastmasters. It's very relevant to speaking, of course. So I think certainly keep a lot of it in there. So again, it's personal. So, okay, so that's, I think, enough about Toastmasters. Oh, another thing you can do, I want to show you that earlier. Let's go back to yours, David, because I can show it on yours. I can't do it on mine from here. So we'll go back to, okay, these are good. That one is over. Okay, so let's go down to your volunteer section. So go out of experience. We're done with experience. And I think you have some volunteer things. I hope there. Oh, one more thing. Your education. Okay, let's go into the pencil. Well, yeah. So first off, click on the pencil by Trinity University and see where it says, see, you can change that so the year doesn't display. See, you have the 80, see the 81? See, go to that little toggle arrow and go all the way up to year. I think you keep going. We'll just try it again. And hopefully get there. Year. So click on year and click on save. Now here's another thing you can do. I'm going to say that your MA, MBA is more important than a BA, right? Just for argument, probably. Yeah, so what you do, see the little arrow things? Click there. Now drag and drop. So you're going to pull that over, just flip them. Slick. Isn't that cool? I mean, I just love this stuff. Right. There's a question in the back. Let her get the mic going on. Okay. Yeah. Right. And that's, see, whenever you enter education, they're both going to show up in the education section. But at the very top of your profile, the one that displays is the one that's listed first. See, now for David, see, when he goes back in there, the master's degree, that college will be at the top of his profile by default.
Where did you make them all show up? Like,
Well, because, okay, so do you see it there now? There's Austin, right? Go back to education. I mean, just entering them. So maybe
you
you're,
just have to scroll down to that.
you just have to
section.
scroll down and they're in the education section.
Okay.
Now, some people will put certificate, coaching certificates and stuff. They'll put that into education. I'm kind of a purist. I like to see education be for formal education where you get a degree, or maybe at least you went there for a while. But that's, again, your choice. Because see, there's a section for certificates and licenses, so where you can put that. So can't remember if you have any, David. See, the other thing too, that speaking of solutions, if you had a company page, think about it. You could have, that would look so much more slick. Yeah, and just as the teaser here, anybody here wants an hour with me, I'm going to give you my older person rate. So you don't have to be over 60, even though some of you are. I don't give you extra discount. That's $105 per hour. Now my regular rate is $140 per hour. So that's a $35 discount. Okay, end of commercial. We're back to our regularly scheduled program. So I think maybe we should go over to, let's see. Oh, skills and endorsements. Let's go down to that. And then we'll double back to licenses. Okay, yeah, that's going to be pretty soon here. Stop. Okay, now public speaking, check. Presentation coaching, check. Poor David, he knows I was going to give him a critique as part of the presentation. MC, really? No, I don't think that it belongs in your top 3, David. I don't. I don't think the engineers will care. So what are we going to do? Woo. So what we want to do is X out of there. So we're not going to worry about endorse. Don't delete it. Or you can don't delete it. No. I think MC is cool. I once paid Tom Hobbs a bunch of money to learn how to MC, and it was a really good class. All right. So go to the top here, click on our 3 dots. 3 dots. Now we're going to see our friend, the arrows, right? Reorder. Click on reorder. And now we're going to go down and see what would be a better third one. I spent some time thinking about this actually this afternoon. So I think I like public speaking. I like presentation coaching. What else is you're looking at these, David? Just quick scroll through. Which one would you think is a better third position skill? I think leadership development could work. Let's just do it for now. So pull it up over the MC. So you have public speaking. Okay, now X out. You should have then X out of skills. See, and then now you have just on the arrow out, I'm sorry. So now we have more appropriate skill in your third. See, that's very, I just love it, stuff like this. I mean, this is where I geek out at it. I'd never get bored of helping other people to geek out with me. And you can have up to 50 skills. Now, I kind of skipped over recommendations here. Let's just double back. Recommendations. Okay, this is good, David. You have these 2 recommendations for me and Jason, but that was like 2 years ago, my friend. So let's think, who could you ask within your circle of LinkedIn connections, a recent client, maybe even another Toastmaster can speak to you. So that's something to think about. Yeah, and scroll down a little further. Okay, so that's the end of that. So let's go back to me now. I feel like I left a section out here. So yeah, go back to mine, please. Yep. And I do apologize because I really meant to have a slide or two on this. So we're close to the end of the profile. So keep scrolling down below all this jazz here. Oh, I think you have to leave volunteering. We must be in volunteering. Exit. Yeah, we always, that's a newer thing. I think it's rather annoying, but it's, whatever, it's LinkedIn. So here's licenses and certifications. See, that's where you could put your certification, whatever may be appropriate. You would have your law. You're still practicing law, right, Steve? So you would have your law license there, right? Okay, so here's projects. I was telling you about these. Like, this is cool. These next two, I was asked to present on LinkedIn to an international summit. Well, that's a feather in my cap. That took a lot of work, especially the first one. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that was the other one with Katie Brinkley. Now, I want to show you a couple other ones that are a little older, but I still am glad to keep them up there. So if you scroll down, you'll see, show all the projects. So what other ones do I have? Oh, I was in a book. No Limit, was it No Limit Over 50? Is that a great title? You book person. So these guys, I was on the podcast with the guy on the right with the beard. So I was, we had a mutual connection. I got on the podcast and then I got to talk to Steve and then they told me about their book and they knew like next to nothing about LinkedIn. So I said, Joyce, would you write the LinkedIn chapter? Like, well, heck yeah. And then they, for one of the appendices, had my entire LinkedIn profile in there. Sweet. Well, that guy with the beard is so well known in Canada. He bills himself as it's not like a Marty, like Canada's favorite geek or something. So that is a feather in my cap to work with him. So scroll down a little bit more. Now, this next workshop, this woman with the glasses on the left, she is super well known nationally in the world of senior living, senior education, for older people, seniors. So I did a workshop at the national conference for the Society of Certified Senior Advisors. It was a big deal. But here's maybe my personal favorite, because there's some people that, moved on from Toastmasters there on each side. And the guy in the middle, Bob Bell, is super into Rotary. Anybody who's in Rotary in town. So she was doing a Rotary project, and I was on her guidance committee. She did it for high performance leadership. And then I just put the social media initiative in there. Like, why not? That's a project, right? So we can go out of projects. So I think it's a great way to talk about something that has kind of a time-bound thing, a beginning and end. And it's something that really is close to your heart and also involves other people that you can drop their name and you don't need their permission. That's sweet. You just have to be connected. They're notified that they can add it too. They'll go, oh, that was nice of Joyce to think of that. Okay, so we're leaving projects. Oh, here we are. Skills. We already talked about that with yours. So there's nothing more to say, I think. So recommendations, keep going. Recommend other people. If you click on given, you will see that I have recommended, and scroll down to the bottom. I think it should show. Yeah, no, I should be giving more because I have over 300, but I really work on recommending other people. I think that's really important. So I thought I'd mention that. Okay, keep scrolling down. And then here's publications. This is this book I was in recently. I mentioned that. I figure my ebook, that's a publication, my lead generator. I do that every couple of years. I've done this in 2016. It prints out about 30 pages and there's a video for every chapter, 9 chapters. And then there's Safe Fun for Adults on Facebook. That was a fun. That was with some like Parker and Castle Rock newspapers. So cool is that. So then courses, those are from I got my certification, honors and awards, my DTM that, none of it might remember. How did I get to be District 26 Toastmaster of the Year? Quick story. Bob Baxter was the immediate past district governor. And I had really busted my fanny that year that he was district governor. And I thought I deserved to be the district Toastmaster of the Year. So I lobbied for this. And Bob says, well, there's channels. You got to go through your channel, your club. I know, Bob, but I'm just putting in a word. So we're getting close to the conference. They like to surprise you, right? Well, I knew the president of Toastmasters was coming. And I thought, I'm going to have him evaluate my speech when I get this award. So I said to Bob, have you decided? Well, yep. Well, are you going to tell me? No. Well, maybe the person might want to comb their hair or something. He says, you better comb your hair. So somebody indirectly told me. So that's the year I was named district toast. I think it's like a lifetime achievement award. I mean, probably everybody in this room should get it, right? Linda Ray would be right up there among others. I saw that. Wow. And so well deserved. Go Rich. So well deserved. He's so, and then here, this is how I got started doing service work as a college student. I changed the calendar with 5 other people lobbying a faculty student committee. I was on that faculty student committee to change the calendar of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, 1970-71. That's the most important thing I've done in my life, I think, outside having 2 kids and, finding the right husband. But I'm so proud of that. Okay. My kids have heard that story like too many times. All right. So anything else in here? Oh yeah. The organizations. I think we're good on time. Good. So this is where you can just list groups you're in or used to be in. So maybe you were in Rotary back in the 90s. Well, list it, it was part of your life for a chapter, then it's over. So it's up to you. So I think we've gotten really few. Any questions about the profile before I move to other matters? Yes.
Oh, wait for the microphone.
I didn't realize you hadn't finished. I was going to ask a question, but I think you're moving to where I'm going to ask, so I'm going to be quiet.
Okay, go ahead.
Anybody else? I have a question.
Related to the profile.
Yep.
That's what I want.
I'm just trying to think of everyone as a group, and I see a lot of text on that profile area from top to bottom. Do you have any suggestions how AI might help you produce some of that text quicker? Because we're not all professional copywriters.
Well, yeah, I think you could just put that in there and say, I want this to appeal to a person over 55, or I want a business owner. How would they want me to say this? That's a great question. And I haven't quite tiptoed my way into ChatGPT or any of them, but I've had clients use it for their about section. It's fascinating. No, that's a really, really good question. Really good. Yeah, definitely. Any questions from the Zoom people on the?
I just heard the other day that you could get ChatGPT to review your LinkedIn profile and offer suggestions.
That would be cool. Yeah, why not? Makes sense. Yeah, they'll probably still need me. But yeah, there's a lady that has a question or a comment.
In my line of work, I normally am asked for work samples before I apply to a job. Would those be best under experience?
Wow. Maybe other people have some ideas. She's asked work samples. Tell me what a work sample looks like for you.
Like a writing sample?
Oh.
Or a portfolio?
Well, that could be maybe in the featured section. Depending. I mean, I don't think that PDFs look so terrific and displaying right. Or an article. Well, here's an idea. You could have an article. We're getting to that next. That might run 500, 800 words. And that's if you had the article as a work sample, you could display that as an article on LinkedIn if you wanted to. Well, let's get to that. Actually, it's a great segue. Yeah, go ahead, Eliana.
Could she create a hyperlink in the entry page that would lead to samples of work?
Yes, well, she could do that where, like David has his website. You could say, see work samples. I don't know if that would make sense. Does David have a thought? Yeah. I'm not sure this LinkedIn would tie in so well to this. I'm just like noodling.
I was just going to share some comments that have come in.
Yes.
Philip, excuse me. Philip Wilkerson said, no questions. Just wanted to say this is a wonderful presentation. Thank you. Vanessa Emerson says, this is a great presentation. I've learned so much. Marianne Gramlich says, I've been taking multiple screenshots. Yanka says, such an amazing presentation. And then Philip Wilkerson chimed in again. I guess it was about the work product. He said, I have articles that I have written and the links to them on my LinkedIn. I have a link to all my articles.
Yeah. So maybe he could also help. We should connect him and you. Yeah, as well. Good point.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
Thank you, Philip.
Yeah, good. Very good. So that's in there. So if that saved chat could be sent out to the people that came in person, that would be cool. If there's a way to do that, so we could see that link from him. Let's work on that. Perfect. Okay, let's talk about posting. So we could create a simple post right now, real time. Why not? So click on home, and then we'll have us. No, wait, actually, no, we're not in mine. So that's not going to work so well. I was going to have me make the post, but David, you could make a post. But what you're doing when you create a post is you're just typing up something about you're going to do. But I know, let's go over to what we'll do is we'll look at mine. Let's go back to mine at the post. I just put a post up earlier today. We can look at that. So scroll down to activity. This will kind of kill two birds with one stone. So go to the bottom of activity and it says see all posts, show all posts. So we go up to the top and we click, then post is what automatically displays. So click on see more. So every Tuesday, right above the image though, no. See, don't limit your recommendations to writing to there. Right, so I recommended 3 people just the other night, just a couple of days ago maybe. And they've been meaning to recommend them for a long time. So I did it. And I tell people, why recommend? I mean, let's get creative. We think of recommending, we think of jobs. Maybe we might think of something like Toastmasters, but how about like this woman, essentially, and don't tell us other people, she gifted me that 7-week program in positive intelligence. That is like $1,000 value. Wow. The least I can do is recommend her. I also wrote a post, and you'll see that here shortly, about how great it was for me. Eric saw more, wanted to join my Excelsior Toastmasters Club, an advanced club in Lakewood, but I had to tell him, if you don't have level 2 levels or the old, competent communicator, you can't join. He was super disappointed, but we stayed in touch. I comped him an hour of time. I helped him with his LinkedIn. He wrote me the most glowing recommendation I've ever had in my whole life. And he recently co-wrote a book. Well, why not recommend Eric? For being Eric. He works full-time. He goes to college. He's from Liberia, goes to school in India. He's a go-getter. And he was so touched. He immediately wrote back and thanked me. And then the third one is Grace Asioni, who gave me these SEO tips just because she likes me or something. I don't know. She was just really sweet. So that's just something you can think about. So that's how I use LinkedIn, is to write kind of suggestions, tips, ideas, get people thinking. But keep scrolling down and you'll see the one with Yvette pretty shortly after this one, I think. Oh, this is phenomenal. If you haven't seen this incredible talk about elderhood, I put it up on Facebook. Many of you are friends of mine on Facebook. It is so darn good. All about embracing being old. That it's cool to be older. And, so it takes a little different angle than the anti-ageism thing, which is still really a thing, right? But keep going down. And there I am with Yvette, the woman that did me. So I wrote this whole post about how much I benefited from this. And she has a new program, new cohort starting in September. So it was good timing to do that. So that's one of the things you can do with posts, is do basically a shout out to somebody. Now, to go to the articles, the point the gentleman was making, see if we go all the way to the top here and you click on more, it's a little hidden, click on articles. So what are articles? They look a little different. So let's just click on the one with Beth, with a gal with the blonde hair, types of videos. The one with the girl with the jacket. Yeah, that one. So now first you see there's a visual at the top, right? Then you have a big bolded headline, right? You keep going down, and then you can have like subheading, see, interesting bullets, keep going down, numbered list. So it looks really like an article, right? Right, like you would have any other kind of online article. So this could be your work sample, is where I'm going. Could look like this if you wanted to have it displayed on LinkedIn. It's a thought. So the cool thing, if you arrow back about these articles, unless you do a lot of them, I could do more often. See, it's almost like this montage, like a portfolio, right? So if you sort of scroll down, you'll see this, array of topics that Joyce writes, these longer, I'll call them thought pieces, evergreen content, things that aren't like writing about being here tonight, that's come and it's gone. So, and I've been doing this for, I think I have 187 or something for years and years and years, ever since it came out as a feature. So that's an article. And then one other thing, if you were, let's see, let's go back to the top, please, David. And we're going to find maybe just a post, find a post, something you might relate to. So let's just take that top one. So say now you're the one doing commenting, or not, but to show you where you can. So scroll to the bottom of the image and see there's comment. This is pretty basic. It's a lot like Facebook. So you make the comment. The comments are good to help bring energy to the post. It will get, like they call it, story bumping is a phrase. So more, plus you're in there with the flow of other people commenting. So you never know who you might see in there, or they might see you. But if you repost, which is, oh, that's, thank you. Okay, and then repost is like sharing. It is really comparable to sharing. And when you click on repost, there, you want to, well, this is separate. That's two separate things. So let's X out of there. So go back to where we're just say discard. So you have that. Now see where the repost is next to comment with the two arrows?
Oh.
Right there, yeah. And then click on repost with your thoughts. Always add your point of view. We all have a point of view. Don't start arguing with original poster. No, that would be bad. But you build on that, enhance it. Say, you know, there's another thought that comes to mind along with all the excellent points that, you know, that Lisa made. I saw that and I liked it. So you want to enhance them. Then if you repost, you can feature. So let's go over to your featured, and I don't know if you've done it, so it might not work exactly. Your profile, yeah. How often? I post them like once a month. I don't map them out for the year. I'm not good on scheduling and calendars. Have you noticed increase the traffic from writing? No, I think actually articles don't get as much. Well, once in a while, they'll get some pretty good traction. Posts usually get more. Really good questions. Yeah, so if you, let's see, I want you to go to featured where you have your little quick books, the guidebooks. Yeah, up there. And then if you click on the plus there and click on post. So if you had, say, well, that's kind of funny, but if you had shared, if you had reposted, you would see those reposts in here along with your own original post. See, and you could feature it. So sometimes like that talk with that geriatrician, thank you. I think it's good to repost things that you really want other people to see. There's a question in the back, Marty.
So separately from repost, if you share the article, or the post, does the original person know? Like if I went to your LinkedIn and shared out your post, do you get a message that I've shared it out?
Unless they've changed their default settings, they will get a notification. And I don't know why they would. I mean, because you want to know who's commenting or reposting. So short answer should be yes. I want to, unless there's more questions about posting or reposting, we can double back. Oh, yeah, there's a question online. Ooh, I did have one other area I should cover. I skipped over.
Oh, she already answered that one.
Okay. Again, I apologize. I think I should redo this PDF a little bit. I want to talk about connecting with people for like 5 minutes, maybe less. So you see my network up there? Let's click on that and see who wants to be friends with me. Now, are we in me or you now? Wait a minute. Let's go. Well, we'll have to be in you then. Phil Winkler, he asked me to be his friend. He must be really out there looking at other people. So I'm glad we have him. So Phil Winkler, let's just click on Phil, or Philip, I should say.
Wilkerson?
Yeah, Philip, do you know Philip Wilkerson?
He's online.
Oh, maybe he's already a cool guy and I didn't know it. All right. So, let's pretend. Do you know Chris Salter?
Yeah, you're Chris.
Yes. Well, you're Chris. Okay. So let's pretend for a minute. Let's move our video over. So don't go accepting anybody yet. Yeah, just wait. Now, do you see where it says, it's kind of hidden by the videos. So maybe you can scooch it over. See, do you see that word SE? So say you want to really question Chris. We'll pick on him because, you know, just because he's here and he's a sweet guy. So see all two. So when you click on that, now you can move your people back. All that. See where there's a little message hyperlink there? See what I say to these people. No, I'm from Wisconsin. I like to use, maybe I'll get the accent back even. So thanks for the invite, Chris. What prompted you to reach out to me? Do I say why? No, I don't like the word why. I feel like it puts people on the defensive. Thanks for the invite, Chris. What prompted you to reach out to me? Now that's the conversational ball is back in their court. And then I see what they say, if anything. Now, I've presented to many different age groups, and some younger people will say, oh, I don't like to see messages. They're probably a salesperson. So they're used to Instagram, Twitter, where you can't write a nice little note, right? But I have a theory that people 50 and older maybe like those nice little notes because they can't remember where the heck they met. It looks kind of familiar. Was it Toastmasters? Maybe it was a chamber, you know? So what you're doing is you're doing them a favor when you write a little note. So I'm just asking for clarification. So it's a vetting. I kind of call a vetting of that. And also when you accept them, let's say you do just go ahead and accept Chris then. Obviously he's sitting right here. So then you go and notice how LinkedIn, well, maybe you have to do it from the My Network screen. Oopsie, go back to My Network. And we still have one more to do with. So now go ahead and accept Philip. Just click on accept. And notice when you do it from there, look at that. It gives you opportunity to write a quick message to Philip, which I think is also a nice touch. Thank you so much, Philip. I looked at your profile. And now I do remember we met last week at Toastmasters and you were a guest, whatever. So that's kind of basic stuff. And then I was thinking about Sam, but I think we have enough. Say you want to connect with somebody else, somebody that's here you haven't met before. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. You just put the name in the search box. So I think we can skip that for now. I want to move into searching because I think we're just really at a good time for that. So let's click on this. And you guys, this is participation because we still need to have like 10 minutes at the end to do the critiques. Okay, so can somebody tell me a kind of person they'd like to have more of in their LinkedIn connections? I mean, by job title. Can someone come up with an example? I like that. Okay, so in the blue screen there, type in where it says search up in the top left, put a quotation mark, and then put training, space, manager, close the quotation. That should help to have the two words be together. Now, click down on see all results. See all results. Now, you can train people anywhere, right? But let's pretend for this. Oh, now, first we got to go to people, not the people on the left, but the upper people in the bubble where you have that people. So now what do we have? We have filters. Very cool. And realize this is all on a free account. Just to clarify, people might be wondering. So that's a lot of training managers. Let's see how many of you, can you click on connections and see if you have some first level connections that you might have forgotten you even knew? So click on first, then show results. Not second yet. Let's just take them one at a time. So now, sure enough, there's 5, but that's not very many. Well, we need more, right? So let's now go to second. So we're going to go back up to connections and we're going to remove, well, where it says first, I'm sorry, where it says first, and then unclick that and click on second. Now we should get a lot more. Quite a bit more. Okay, now let's do Denver metro area. Again, I know you can go anywhere, but this kind of simplifies it for the process. So type in Denver, and then you should see Denver metro, top one. Click on that, show results. Now we want to, let's use your engineering thing, I think. So let's not kind of go with company and get too limited. Let's go with all filters. So we are going to look for the industry of, I think engineering is listed as an engineer, as we'll find out. So we're going to scroll down on the right. Just a couple more sections. Now type in where it says add in industry, boop, 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 higher, higher, higher. And then go add in industry.
All right.
Right?
And
Add in, you type in engineering, and I'm crossing my fingers they have it. Well, engineering services, let's try that. This might get a little, or you could do that and civil, you could do more than one. Maybe do civil engineering too, but it's very limited. Okay, so we got these two. So show results. So watch this. 394 drops to 1. Maybe too much. One other idea is go back to industry and maybe remove those two because it got too narrow. Yeah, go remove these both of them, I think. Although, yeah, see, nah, that didn't really work. Sometimes you kind of hit a dead end. Okay, show results. Let's try another one. Go back to all filters and go down to service categories. So keep going down. Maybe they'll have training as a service category. See, training. I know this sounds kind of meta if you're looking for training, but try show results. Well, at least we went to 18. Now that's pretty dramatic, isn't it? Wow. And so now what's interesting, these are all second level people. See, second, but they don't show the second level persons, right? Let's get a click into, they'll look at Leslie. Hopefully you're okay doing this and I can show you how you could hide, but it's a little late now. All right. So now see here the people, there's Christy and Katie and one other mutual connection. So you could approach this a couple ways. You could ask one of them to do an email introduction. I've also had people who are business development people. When they see a list of those 18, they just go connect. And what the heck, right? Bold they are. I'm kind of chicken, I don't think I'm quite ready for that. So I like to have a warm introduction rather than connect. Because the problem with that, you can't even write them a note. I mean, you could theoretically go into their profile, click on connect, and then write the note. But so at any rate, that's a way to kind of lean into your LinkedIn connections to help them go to work for you because they can help you hopefully meet the kind of person you're looking for, these training managers. Is that making sense to people? I think it's so slick, that whole search filter. And if you want to pay like $80 a month, which I do, but it's like having what's this, an old reference, but I'll use like having a Cadillac in your garage, but you don't really drive it. But then with Sales Navigator, you can get much more detailed. Like you're looking for people who've been in their job for at least 5 years and the company for 10. And that's really good if you're really B2B kind of person. Yes.
Philip did say he would respond and say, I am a member of Toastmasters and was in the session today.
Oh,
when
wow.
I asked him my question about
Oh,
prompted him
yay.
to connect.
That's so perfect.
And he also has a question, what do the quotations do as opposed to just typing training?
I think, I'm not, but I think they help. It's called Boolean kind of a factor. When you have them together with a quotation mark, they're more apt to show training manager as a phrase, Philip.
Instead of training or manager.
Or manager.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's the point. And you can also use and or minus, and I'm no expert on Boolean searches.
Okay.
What I want to do now is go and give some critique. Are we ready for critiques? Okay. Unless we got questions. We're going to start with the president. Carol Metz Murray. So let's look her up. I feel like I'm on a game show now or something. All right. So there she is. So we're going to go look at your profile, Carol. Hope you're ready. Is that okay? She's nodding. Okay. That's a good. That's good. Oh yeah. Good idea to unmute so you can have like rebuttal or something, right? So we're going to reset this search we got in. So we don't really care about this search anymore. We're just going to go looking for Carol. Yeah. Yep. Now click on view full profile. There's a lot to like about Carol's profile. I like her picture, but here's the first question I have, Carol. You say that you work with women. What are you doing with a man in a suit on that rock? I have a problem with that image. Just saying. Okay, first thing. But I love the naked leadership. I mean, that's such a fun name. Right, here's a tiny thing where you have People, possibilities, strategists. I like that. But I would like to see you separate every single thing. You do some of these with a vertical. Let's get consistent here, my friend. Separate executive coach and speaker and the strategist should all be separated with the vertical. Okay. Contact info. Click on that, please. See, this is great. She's the prepaid legal. She's got in there on her website. Excellent. That looks great. It's branded. Very good. Now we're going to look at your about. So we X out of contact info and we're going down to the about section. By the way, good featuring. Okay, so we're going to look at her about, see more. Overall, I like this. I think that the first and third paragraphs are a little too long. And again, you could go to ChatGPT and others. They could help you. How do I shorten this with more paragraphs? Ooh, there's an idea. So that could be something to think about. The only thing is, I like to see you start maybe with some questions. You know, maybe that stuff from that third part. Are you transitioning or something with you charts? I think sometimes our about sections can get too much about us and less about them. I had a guy he said there should be more yous than I's in your about section. So that's something to really consider. The services offered looks good. One thought I had, Carol, as we're going down, is see where you have these specialties. My suggestion is either take some of them and put them into skills, and the others could probably, like the Psych K probably may not be in a skill, but you could put that under services offered. So I think that's what I would say for a format. You don't have, you say book a free section, you don't have a URL for us to use. Now, granted, it's not a hyperlink, but you could put a URL in. Okay, moving down. I thought the naked leadership could be a little longer. If you click on see more, maybe another paragraph or so. You've been doing this for almost 30 years. So I'd like to see you flesh that out just a little bit more. Also, Legal Shield, you've done that since 2009. You say 0 about it. So I think there should be a short paragraph to say, what is Legal Shield? Something about the leadership you've done in it, if you want to include that. And then I like that you go back to your day jobs. I think it's fine you go back to 1990. I mean, you're self-employed. So those are the main things that I noticed. So education. Now, here's a situation where you're having these references. You're double listing them. So when we go further down to your credentials, let me go down a little bit to the licenses. Where are they? Here. So here, that's great. I personally, this is my opinion, would just have that Moment Institute there, and then also make sure that you always use the link to their company page, and you always have their cool logo. So I'm more, like I say, I'm keeping them there and not listing them under education. I don't know that really works. Let's see. Oh, skills. Yeah, a couple of things on skills. Is there a question? Yeah.
I actually have a question, because I just noticed there that there's 2 entries there under licenses and certifications, both from the Moment Institute. And you'll notice after the second one, the Moment Institute logo showed up, but not after the first one.
Because she didn't link that first one to the company page. Somehow when she typed it in, she didn't grab the drop down that should have appeared when she entered it.
I see.
That's what's gone on there.
Okay, thanks.
Good question. So skills, let's look at her skills. I like these first 2, but I think there's some organization. You might want to have a few other ones. Like I was thinking executive coaching, leadership. I mean, those are good ones, but I'm not sure that they are your top 3. And then one other thing, go back. I know that's what I know. So the recommendations. I have one more thing for you, Carol. And see, there's what is it? 2022, 22, and then one more was it? Oh, yes, well, there were 3. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. But you haven't had any this year. That's okay. That's okay. There's your publications. Very good. There are a couple other things. No, Carol, this is a really good link. Oh, I know. We have all this 9 other authors. I guess you could list them as you do, but it looks a little funky when you don't have any of them with their pictures. So it's up to you. Maybe you still want to list them. Okay, so we've already done David Odie up the yin yang, so we can skip him, right? All right, let's do one more. Rich Hopkins, yeah. Man of the year, right? Yeah, literally. So let's look him up.
By the way, Joyce, he announced on chat that he just did a whole bunch of changes to his LinkedIn profile
I like-
just today.
Well,
So
yeah,
let's
because I
help
know
him out here.
he was going to. I'm like, Rich, there's a few you missed. Okay, so yeah, well, he's got more to do. So click on view full profile. So one of the first things I like about Rich is this banner. It's very eye-catching. It has his, win anyway. You see him with a group, the audience has got his website. Good picture of you, Rich. When was that taken though? You look very youngish to me. Maybe you just are aging really well and that was recent, but just make sure that it's recent. Okay, now here, this is different. Maybe since I looked at you, you are right. Woohoo. Okay, so humorous and inspirational keynote speaker. I don't like when you get too much going on at once. So, I would definitely have keynote speaker for sure. Is being written right now. Humorous and inspirational speaking, maybe. I don't know. I'm just playing around with some ideas here real time. I like podcaster present. This is very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think you have your 5 hashtags. Very good. Let's click on contact info. Oh, I know something. Arvada. Farvada. Have you heard that one? Far, like it's far from downtown. That's a joke, right? But who's heard of Arvada? If you're not, even people in Denver don't know where Arvada is. So what you want to do with that, Rich, my friend, is you go to the pencil, you go down to where it says Arvada, because that's your zip code, of course, and change it to Denver Metropolitan or Denver Metro area. We should all be using Denver Metro area. Even Longmont could use Denver. You could also use Boulder. Oh, but click on contact info. Now this is great. This is what I like your website. I like the blog spot. You're already branded. You have your emails. See, again, you don't need Arvada here, I don't think. Okay, so that's cool. All right, so now we can leave that. And I'll look at 2011. Me and Rich go back really far. That's terrible grammar. For grammarian was catching me. Keep going down oh, cool. These are great. These are good, featured, really nice. Okay, so let's look at his about section. See if he's done anything new and exciting there. Click on see more. Okay, so I'm not sure that new foot smell really plays as well in print as it does, in person, just say. But I somehow feel feels very Rich oriented. It feels like here I am. I have this, I have that. I want more you. I want more what are things that people, when they hear you, you've moved them. So I rewrite that about section, please, Rich, and send it to me. And have it be oriented is enough. I feel like an end of lecture. Okay. Okay. I don't want to, okay. So I'll see that later at the end. Keep going down because we're closing out here. Now here, can you click on see more? Oh, see speech and deliver. So I think there is the issue with time. So if you can somehow link your presentation consultant with that, I think maybe if you had the 04, 05 kind of connected with May to June or something, because they should be under the same name, and consider, Rich, having a company page, just saying. Now keep going down because you could probably add, you definitely could add a little more. Multimedia, okay, that's better than when I saw it, where there was nothing. So you could add probably just a little bit to each of these. Again, that's a good start, but I think you can expand. So keep going down. We're almost done. Oh, wow. I thought you went to college. Okay. Now that we know you went to college, you don't have to put that you went to high school unless there was like some really big time prep school or, well-known high school. I honestly think you could drop your high school now that we know you have a BA. Okay. So, and I like that stage place. Wow. Volunteering, speaker, leader. This is good. It's tricky when you've done all the kinds of things that Rich has done to know how to list them without sounding really braggy, because he's good and he's done all these things. So maybe we talk about it offline. And I think it's good you have these different pathways, different DTMs under pathways and not. Keep going down. And then skills, public speaking, coaching, check. Leadership, check. Okay, that works. Keep going down. Oh, I think it's recommendations where there's issues. 2015. Oh, Rich has 8 years. That's a long time not to get a recommendation. Catch up. Let's get 2 or 3 more this year.
I just asked Laura Brenner for a recommendation. So Laura, you got to save me.
I could rewrite mine. Yeah, I sure could. There's no reason I can't. Because I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Rich. So I definitely could, but you cannot write a second recommendation for the same position. Now, I could write it for a different position of his, write a recommendation. Any final questions as we're wrapping up? Yeah.
Quick question. The fact to put a college or put a high school, wouldn't that be because alumni can be looking for you from that angle?
Well, if you were at a very well-known high school where you made friends for life and that would mean a lot to have them see that high school there. Yes, but for most of us, our high schools aren't that relevant to this life we're in now, I think. Any online questions? There was a bunch of like chats that I'd like to see. Rich, do you have any comments there? But you did a good job.
Thank you. I'll do some more rewriting.
Okay, there's Phil. I am area director. Oh, 29. Oh, well, Philip, this is so cool. Thank you. Yay.
So I just have a comment. First of all, Joyce helped me with my profile a long time ago. It's really worth having her come sit down with you, and it's also fun. And she's my buddy. We're 3 weeks apart in age.
Oh, that's right.
But what I think we could all do tonight is make a resolution, Marty, that we will all look at who's here, copy who's online, go put some endorsements on their LinkedIn pages.
Yeah.
We could all do it for each other. There's
Right.
plenty of things you can say. And if you don't have a lot to say, you can go and click where it says he's an expert in, he's an
Right.
expert
So
in.
do
he's
the
an expert in.
endorsements. That's the low-hanging fruit. And then the recommendations are the text. The recommendations are the text. Yeah.
What I've learned from Fort Sakes and a couple of other people who are pretty big in this field, when you are having a comment on somebody's post, do not like. That is a negative to the algorithm. Write a comment, but don't just write cool or I agree. You need to have 7 words at least that have to do with the comment. And then if we could get conversations going,
Right.
like we all posted tonight and then we all commented on them,
Mhm.
that's what drives
Right.
SEO through the roof.
I do often choose thoughtful. I think I may be wrong, but the reaction is different than just like. If you react, you love, you thoughtful, but the most important thing is just what you said, is to have a meaningful comment.
Apparently doesn't like reactions, they want engagement.
Oh, really? Oh, good to know. Thank you for
Google is not exactly excited about reactions. They
Okay.
want engagement. And if you can get 3 or 4 people chatting on your post,
yeah,
2 or
I've seen
3
that.
back and forth, that's going to
That's-
send you way, way high.
That makes total sense, Linda. Yeah,
Could you repeat the remark that the woman inside
I
of
feel
Linda? I heard Linda, but the woman back there, I didn't hear her comment, and I'd like to.
Who's comment? Whose comment?
Before Linda, someone commented on something.
Eliana's comment?
No, I thought there was somebody else. Maybe there
a
wasn't.
question about high school.
No, that wasn't a question.
Well, Linda said 2 separate comments. I'm
Mhm.
thinking that you might have been
Yeah.
thinking that was 2 different people.
Okay, possibly.
All right, Ray.
Thank you. Thank you, Marty. Joyce, if it's been a few years since you worked on your LinkedIn page and you know there are a lot of things that as you certainly could talk about, what would be the top 3 things someone could do to really beef up a LinkedIn page?
That's a great question. So let's think of this through. First off, make sure your picture is up to date. So the 3 things to do: your picture, your headline, and your about section. I mean, the banner is nice, but I think the about section is so important. Oops, yeah, sorry. Thank you. I keep wandering. Yeah. So the picture, the about section, and the profile headline would be the most important. Another one, Steve?
Thank you, Marty. Joyce, when you are writing content for the various sections, is it important to make sure that you've got the SEO appropriate words and everything so that it's searchable in the easiest way possible for Google?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it can be important, but Linda is saying not necessarily. Yeah, go back, make sure she has the mic, yeah.
I've been to 3 seminars on this in the last month.
Wow.
Google uses AI. Google picks out all of your keywords. So you can do your hashtag if you want, if it makes you feel good, but Google's going to find them in your comments. So get 5 or 6 words that really talk about what you do, like patent attorney, that kind of thing, and right away, and Google will pick it up.
Yeah, and I tend to write just what I want to say, and I probably could do something in between and get it up. I want to say this has just been like coming home. I mean, the chance to talk about my favorite subject with some of my favorite people in the whole world, I just feel like I've died God heaven. So thank you guys. It's so good. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank you so much. Now,
Yeah.
I want you to watch something here.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna do something. I want to ask everyone to participate in this when I ask for your biggest takeaway. So I want to go around the room, and we have this on recording because this will
Okay,
help you for
good.
future workshops.
Yes.
We're gonna do this we have some time here. I want to do this online as well. So just think of that one thing. What's your big takeaway? And let's go around the room real quick in here, one after another. I'm gonna take the mic with me.
The biggest takeaway is how easy it is to punch or to click on the pencil and be able to edit whatever you've got in there.
There's so much material you can add and really not even scratch the surface.
The importance of the headline.
Use StreamYard to do LinkedIn Live.
Ah.
When did she talk about StreamYard?
You can use creator mode even if you don't have a premium profile.
Yeah.
Ooh, beautiful. Love it.
Update your photo.
Really parse your experience into little nubs.
Adding your URL to the top.
2 more.
I like the about story.
I had 2 services offered in the creator mode.
And 1 bonus. I ran right past David.
Well, no, we got some people online. C. Dunham has her hand up. Go ahead. Oh, you're gonna,
Let's
okay.
get 1 comment from everyone. And Carol, would you orchestrate this for me and call on individual people? And maybe say a name and then the next name in advance so that person can unmute while that person in front of them is speaking. And let's be real quick, just one-liners real quick.
One-liners, we're going to start with Laura Brennan.
Keeping current on my events that I'm sharing.
Margaret.
Changing your info if it's out of date.
Marion.
Follow the hidden features that are free.
Rich.
Reading that about section and reminding me of my I language.
Yannicka.
Being able to customize your profile rather than having a number at the end of your name.
Christine.
I like the creator mode. I didn't know about that, so I'm excited about that.
Philip.
Be more strategic with the Boolean searches and when reaching out to new people so that you can find titles and positions that are more aligned with who you're looking to connect with.
EJ.
It was all amazing. I know nothing, so I know something now, and I love the delivery. Thank you very much.
Okay. Lee, are you there?
Hi, I can't talk tonight, sorry.
Okay. Erica.
Yeah, no, Erica?
Put 2 hands up at the top there.
2 hands. I cannot see that far, so if they're,
I don't see any hands up
yeah,
for.
C. Dunham. C, what is your
Yes.
first name so that we know? What does C
Then,
stand for?
well, if I, Clara is Clara, but if I put Clara, then it cuts me off. Anyhow, I like the idea of being able to redo your URL or your name on the page. There is a lot new that you have taught tonight that I didn't know, or maybe I have not gone by LinkedIn in quite some time. So I learned a lot, and really appreciate all the information you share. It was wonderful. Thanks.
Great, and we appreciate you as well. Val, what is your comment?
Well, I really appreciated the information on articles published because I don't have a book at this point, but I have a lot of articles that I've written that have been published. So thanks for that.
Great. So if I was to summarize what everyone just said and what you presented tonight, I would pick number one, find profiles that are in your industry that are doing a good job on LinkedIn. And go into their areas of LinkedIn and say, how the heck did that person do that? I can't remember, or maybe it was something you didn't go over. But number two is to click on stuff. Click on the pencil, right? Click around and investigate these individual little sections.
Right.
And as a bonus, you need to really follow people who are ahead of the game in LinkedIn. And this is the person you need to follow. So thank you so much for being with us tonight. Wonderful job. We'd love to have you back again.
Thank you.
And Carol, you have the show. I'm giving you control of the event. My role as your MC has concluded. It's been a marvelous event. I love the turnout here. Thank you all so much for being here. Carol, all yours.
Thank you, Marty. Before we conclude tonight, I'm going to ask everyone to save the chat because there's information in the chat that, well, everyone has been sharing their LinkedIn names so that we can connect with everyone. So please do that. I want to say thank you to Steve and to Marty. Steve for getting us started on time, which is so important as professional speakers. Marty, for your great job at emceeing. Rich, for getting Joyce to come and share 2 hours of her time for all of us to learn tonight. And Joyce, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And I feel really honored that you looked at my LinkedIn profile and gave me comments, because it is being rewritten as I speak. So thank you so much to everyone that came out in the room and virtually. Thank you all. I think we had tonight, I think about 35 people in our hybrid model. So please come back again and visit us, become a member. We'd love to see you. So thank you everyone for a wonderful evening. With that, the meeting is concluded.
And we need to officially congratulate Rich Hopkins for his attaining a Toastmaster of the Year for the district level. Congratulations, Rich.
Yes, thank you, Marty. Congratulations, Rich. Well done, well deserved.
Well, Joyce told me I needed to lobby for it, so I did what I could in the couple weeks I had.
And you obviously did a good job, or good job, because you have the award. So have an awesome evening, everyone, wherever you might be. And just for everybody's information, we actually had someone with us tonight from Thailand. So our reach tonight was far and wide in the Toastmaster world. Good evening, everybody.
And